When you get sick, like actually sick, your whole personality changes. You don't want to train, you don't want to work, everything just feels heavier. And that makes sense when you're actually fighting something. Your body is conserving energy for what matters. But a lot of people feel a low-level version of that every single day. Most people assume that it's just a willpower problem or a sleep problem, or that they just need to push harder. But often, what looks like low-level discipline is actually your body sending a signal. One overlooked possibility is low-grade inflammation. And once you understand that, the whole approach changes. The mechanism. When your body senses a threat, infection, injury, chronic stress, your immune system releases inflammatory signals called cytokines or cytokines. And these don't just stay in the bloodstream. They communicate directly with your brain. What they tell your brain is basically slow down, withdraw, conserve energy. Stop doing non-essential things. Researchers call this sickness behavior. It's your immune system influencing your behavior. Makes sense when you have an actual infection. The problem is that these signals don't actually require you to be sick. They just require your body to feel under threat. When inflammation runs chronically elevated, even at low levels, those same signals run in the background. Your brain keeps getting the slow down message. Dopamine signaling gets suppressed, which is why motivation can feel harder to access specifically. Not just physical energy, but the wanting to do things. In some inflammatory states, mitochondrial function can also be affected, which may contribute to that low battery feeling. That's a fundamentally different problem than I need to sleep more. That's why people can try everything. Earlier bedtimes, more coffee, better morning routines, productivity systems, and still feel like they're driving with the parking brake on. You can still move forward, but everything just takes more effort than it should. The inputs. So what's actually driving this for most people? It's probably not seed oils. It's probably not the red meat. It's not whatever the current debate is online. The bigger picture is usually three things. Sleep is the one most people underestimate. And I mean underestimate in a specific way. Poor sleep doesn't just leave you rested less. Your body becomes more inflamed when you're chronically cutting sleep short. There's a cleaning system in the brain, the glymphatic system, that clears inflammatory debris while you sleep. Disrupt that window consistently, and it accumulates. You can actually feel this after one bad night. You're more than just tired. You're achy, you're reactive, more emotional. Everything kind of feels a lot harder. That's more than just fatigue. That's inflammation running higher. Diet is the second one. And I want to be clear about what I mean, because the internet makes it absurdly complicated. I'm not talking about seed oils or fasting windows or any specific food debate. I'm talking about the overall pattern. If most of what you're eating is ultra-processed, fast food, packaged snacks, sugary drinks, your body isn't getting the signal that it's nourished and recovered. It's getting the opposite signal. That matters more than any specific ingredient you might be avoiding. The third one is just not moving enough. This actually surprises people. Exercise has direct anti-inflammatory effects. When your muscles contract, they release compounds called myokines or myokines that actively suppress the inflammatory response. So sitting inside all day isn't something that's neutral. It's as if you're removing one of your body's natural inflammatory brakes. And then the cycle gets worse. You feel tired, so you move less, which drives inflammation higher and makes you feel more tired. Sort of like the snowball effect, the inverse law. Here's what I find interesting though. People know some version of all of this. Sleep more, move more, eat better. None of this is new information, but the way people actually engage with health is almost backwards. They worry about the seed oils while sleeping 6 hours a night. They look into cold plunges while barely walking during the day. They research supplements while eating fast food 5 times a week. They buy blue light glasses and then scroll until 1 a.m. And look, I get why. Because the basics are boring, the optimization layer is fun and interesting. Protocols are interesting. Specific interventions are interesting. The fundamentals feels like stuff everyone already knows. But if you haven't fixed the foundation, the optimization layer is mostly noise. A solid supplement stack on top of chronic sleep deprivation and no movement does very little. This is what I've called the inverse law on this channel. Focusing on what matters least before fixing what matters most. And I think inflammation might be the clearest example of it in health. The solution. So what do you actually do? Sleep first. Not because it's complicated, but because it seems to accelerate everything else. If you're not giving yourself at least 8 hours in bed, start there. Consistent wake times, morning sunlight, cut caffeine off earlier than you think you need to, some kind of wind down routine so you're not going from full speed to falling asleep immediately. It's nothing crazy. Movement second. 3 or more training sessions a week and regular walking. Walking specifically is underrated. I'd honestly rather someone walk daily and train 3 times than train 5 times a week and sit the rest of the time. The goal is signaling to your body that you move, that you're not sedentary, that your muscles actually get used. That is what matters. On a side note, I am a total hypocrite because I work out daily and then I don't move for the rest of the day because I spend all week working. In the near future, I am thinking about getting a desk treadmill. So do as I say, not as I do on this point. Food is third. Not a specific diet, not cutting any particular thing out, just mostly real food. Protein, vegetables, fruit, whole sources of carbs and fats. When your diet is mostly whole food, a lot of inflammatory inputs from ultra-processed stuff goes down naturally without tracking anything or following any rules. Now, if all 3 need work, don't try to fix all 3 at once. That's where most people fail. They decide they're going to overhaul sleep, training, diet, all at the same time, and then 2 weeks later, they've all completely burned out and reverted back to everything. Pick the one that's the most broken. Get it stable for about a month at least, then add the next one. Once the foundation is actually running, then and only then, you might start experimenting with different refinements. Fasting, specific supplements, seed oils, cold exposure, whatever's interesting to you. Those things matter. I'm wearing 2 wearables right now. I think about this stuff and I'm not dismissing any of it, but they matter at the margins. The foundation comes first. I think you have to earn the right to optimize. Not because optimization is bad, but because optimizing without a foundation is honestly a distraction. Your body adapts to the signals you send it every day. If those signals are consistently sleep deprivation, never moving, and mostly processed foods, it adapts to that environment. And one of those adaptations is fatigue. Not because anything's wrong with you, but because your body's trying to protect you from what it perceives as a threat. So instead of trying to ask, how do I get more energy? A better question is, what is my body protecting me from right now? Usually the answer is one of those 3 things. Fix the signal and the energy will follow. Until next time, thanks for watching.